on CD and download.
This is Matt Cooper on The Last Word.
One of the things I'm looking forward to over the Christmas break is getting the chance to play lots of games, particularly on my Nintendo Wii and Nintendo DS. So we decided to ask Ciara O'Brien of the Irish Times and Danny O'Dwyer from citizengame.co.uk to tell us what are the best games, not just for the Wii, but for the Xbox and the PlayStation and all the rest of it, what their recommendations would be. And Ciara, as I'm being self-indulgent, what's your Wii recommendation to start with?
Well, there's a couple out there at the moment. Just for pure family fun, the Wii, I think, has it as the console of the moment. You've seen the ads for Wii Music. Wouldn't really go for that one. It's not great.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
Well, it's actually a bit... It's kind of dull, really. I mean, it has lots of kind of interesting things to it. I mean, it takes a great concept, but it has kind of buggy gameplay, and you can pretty much... The idea of it is you're supposed to be playing these really, really great instruments. It doesn't actually work out like that. You can kind of button mash every now and again, and your movements aren't quite accurately reflected on the screen. But have to be honest, now my favourite
one. If there were, there'd be no music coming out.
No, it's kind of it is kind of plinky plonky music, and their contemporary songs are not quite so contemporary.
Okay, what about Guitar Hero World Tour?
Guitar Hero, yes, this is where it gets good. Guitar Hero World Tour actually blows the whole thing out of the water. Wii Music, forget about it, go for Guitar Hero. Now, I was playing on the Xbox 360 because the graphics are, for me anyway, are better on the Xbox 360, but Guitar Hero World Tour kind of sticks it up to Rock Band. I mean, Rock Band, Guitar Hero, when it came out, this was the best thing ever, and then Rock Band came along and added in some extra instruments, and all of a sudden Guitar Hero is not looking quite so good. So for World Tour, what they've done is they've added in a few extra instruments like drums, and you can actually, they've given you a mic as well, so you can really, really annoy the neighbours with this. It is good fun. I mean, it's not something that I suppose I'd be playing every night. My hands are too small for the guitar.
Yeah, but the best thing, isn't it, is the Super Mario karting is the job on the Wii. That's the best thing.
It's not exactly new, but it is one of the best ones out there. But if you're into games like that, if you're into kind of things that replicate on screen, the Wii has two that I don't think would really be your thing, but might be for your kids. Something called All-Star Cheerleader, which you have to come up with your own routines and compete in cheerleading competitions, and
That's
you can use the band board. No, but it is good fun. And also something called Boogie Superstar, which is one of these new karaoke games.
A listener suggesting World Championship Snooker is great on the Wii. That sounds interesting, because I do love playing golf on the Wii as well.
I honest to God, I can think of nothing duller than playing snooker. Sorry, it's just not. It's not my game. It's not. I'm more into things
golf
you can
is
hit.
Great fun. Here, Danny, do you play anything on the Wii, or is the Wii outside your ambit?
I do, but you've caught pretty much everything I was going to say. Mario Kart Wii is so much fun. I know it came out, it's over 6 months now, but it's just one of these great games for just to play on your own and also with a couple of people. And it's a great present as well, because it comes in a nice package, and they throw in this sort of plastic Wii.
And the wheel is great fun, isn't it? Yeah,
exactly,
when you stick it. Yeah.
You get it to work. It's harder than driving a real car.
Is it? Because I don't drive real car and I have great fun on the Wii.
Well, there you go. Maybe it's a training simulator. You should try it.
Yeah, the kids are a bit scared when they see me, all the crashes I do and the speed I go at. Okay, what are your choices, Danny?
On the Nintendo DS, because I know a lot of people who are listening or probably own one, there's a game that came out in the States in the summer, and it's only been released here last week. It's called Professor Layton in the Curious Village. And it's one of these games that sort of transcends the barrier between people who play games casually and people who are game enthusiasts, I guess.
Okay, what's this about?
It's like a puzzle game, but all these different puzzles sort of tied together with this nice little story. Essentially, you could put it, I guess, up against something like Brain Training, but it has a narrative attached to it. And one of the great things about it is it's quite long. There's a lot to do in it, but also with the Nintendo Wii Wi-Fi, you can actually go online and download extra puzzles for it every week for free. So there's quite a lot of longevity with that as well.
Oh, that sounds very good. Anything else from your choice, Ciara, in relation to the DS, which is so popular?
The DS, I have to say, for me, the Brain Training games, anything like that, it's kind of, it sums up what Nintendo is trying to do at the moment, which is trying to get across from hardcore gamers to casual gamers. Now, I've given my mother my Nintendo DS, and she's in her 50s, and it's actually hilarious that the swearing out of her is unreal. Like, if we're trying to get this done, and I mean, there's an element of competition going there. Trying to get your brain age down to 20, and I have to say I'm still winning. So, but
I find when you do it, every time you try and write 8 on the screen, it suddenly comes up at 6, and then you get marked wrong.
If you're quick enough, you can erase it, though.
Yeah.
The funniest one is though when you're trying to do the word memories, and because it's can be a bit buggy when it's trying to read your handwriting, and that one is actually, that's I think we counted the swear words for that one, and that was actually the most.
Listeners' comments coming in. We Snowboard recommended by one person. Another saying it could be easier to learn the guitar than to learn Guitar Hero.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, Xbox 360 recommendations, Danny.
There's a game that came out about a month ago called Fallout 3, and it took a lot of people by surprise at how good it was. It's a fantastic setting for a game. It's the sort of 50s nuclear hysteria situation, except the game is set 200 years after the US has been attacked by all these nuclear bombs from, I think it's China. Basically, you're the fourth generation of people who have been living inside a nuclear bunker, and you escape from the bunker after everything goes pear-shaped, as they tend to do in these games, and you're basically left in this massive rolling landscape of a post-nuclear Washington, D.C., and basically the world is your nuclear oyster at that stage. There's so much to do in this game. You could burn away hours. It's made by the same people who made a very popular game 3 years ago called Elder Scrolls Oblivion. That was a sort of a fantasy sword swiping game, whereas this is obviously a little bit more futuristic. A lot of as well with the sort of quality of the game, you could burn away so many hours with this, and just the amount of fun. I've had conversations with people who've been playing this game, and they've told me about all this stuff they've done, and I've done none of that, but I've done a whole set of other things that they haven't done. So just loads and loads of stuff to do in Fallout 3.
Okay, your Xbox 360 choice, Ciara?
Well, there's a toss-up between two. There's Gears of War 2, which is a fairly well-known game at this stage, and there is Lips, which is the karaoke game. So up until now...
Bit different, Ciara.
Yes, no, two very different, very different audiences, but you'll see, add in some alcohol and everybody will be at it, because if you'll see SingStar, I mean, you wouldn't get me near a karaoke machine for all the tea in China, but when you add in a competitive element in it, you'll see me elbowing people out of the way. So Lips is like, actually now I have to apologise to my downstairs neighbours who've been putting up with this for the last 3
Noise
weeks.
pollution.
So, yeah, I discovered the other day that you can actually turn the volume on the mic down. I think these things actually should be mandatory for anybody who wants to go on reality TV in a singing show, because when you hear yourself back through surround sound on it, it's dire. It really is. But it's good fun. I mean, with Lips, what it does is it actually gives you the original videos of the tracks that you're singing. So, you know, they've been pushing the AHA one, so which would be, I suppose, one of my childhood videos.
And ABBA have been pushed on PlayStation.
ABBA have been pushed on. Now, PlayStation have the jump on this one. They've been doing this for a long time. But the original SingStar, when it came out, I mean, if you look at the track list now, it wasn't actually that great. So I can see Lips actually, if they build on it. I mean, they're already offering new tracks for download on Xbox Live. So I mean, some of the music is dodgy, but you know, it can be improved on, and you can actually upload your own tracks onto it. Okay,
PlayStation 3 recommendations, Danny. What do you have?
I'm going to go with it's sort of a Marmite of a game. It's called Little Big Planet, and Sony have been marketing this game for months. Loads of magazines, lots of television exposure as well, and it's had sort of mediocre sales because people don't really understand what it is. It's basically sort of it's like a Mario side-scrolling platform game. You can play with up to 4 people. The levels in the game in the single player are so incredibly imaginative. You just have such a buzz playing every single level in it. But the main component of this game is that you have an ability to, like a lot of sort of first-person shooters on PCs for years, you can build your own levels. In this, you can use the Xbox or the PlayStation Eye camera to take photographs of stuff and put those in the game. You can make these massive levels, and there's been some truly really imaginative levels made based on other games, and there's like a Crystal Maze level in it where it's even got the bald fella playing a harmonica in the background that somebody's managed to make. Tons of fun, up to 4 players if you can get 4 people to play it with you. But yeah, Little Big Planet, it's a lot of people really enjoying it, and small amounts of people who play it just don't like it that little bit. But I think it's worth the risk, because it's if you do like it, it's a superb game.
Gosh, there's a listener here texted in accusing us of being nerds. Danny, do you need a big HD ready TV to get the best out of all these things we've been recommending?
Sort of. When it comes to the Wii, no. You can get away with that, no problem. But when it comes to the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, so many of the games are created with high definition, you know, in mind. That texture and a lot of things like being able to read text is quite difficult on standard definitions now with the newer games. Yes, I'd say so. I'd say now is a good time to be buying a television, especially actually when the January sales come around. The prices are now becoming reasonable, and you know, you don't need the biggest TVs. Anything, you know, 32 inches is fine. But I'd say if you're going to invest in an Xbox 360 or a PlayStation 3, you might as well invest in a television.
What would your recommendation? What console would you go for of choice?
The big toss-up between PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 is very dependent on the games that you want to play. Personally, I'd go with the Xbox 360. Even though the online isn't free like the PlayStation is, the support is a lot better. The sort of unique games it has, like Gears of War 2 and Lips, as Ciara was saying, I think trump things like Little Big Planet and Metal Gear Solid that the PlayStation 3 have. But if you're new to gaming and you want to have something fun, the Wii, I'm not quite sure if there's still enough quality games on it to warrant it, but what I would say to anyone who's looking to get into games is ensure Nintendo DS, they're cheap, they're affordable, and the amount of back catalogue games for those is
What's
just
your
superb.
recommendation, Ciara?
I have to be honest, I go for the Xbox 360 purely on price, the amount of games that are available for it, and just, I mean, it does what it says on the tin. I mean, you plug it in, off it goes, and, you know, there's no messing about with anything.
Okay, we're going to put all of these recommendations up on the website, the todayfm.com website. If you go to the last word page, there's a few more that we didn't get to as well, in particular in relation to PCs, so they will all be there. Thank you very much, Ciara O'Brien from the Irish Times and Danny O'Dwyer from citizengame.co.uk. We'll be talking about movies after this.
100 to 102 Today FM, the last word with the O2. Now, live music